Hey grade 9, so this is a supplemental video for you guys. It's not necessarily a chapter, but just a little summary of the different types of factoring. So there are 4 of the types of factoring that the IGCSE wants you guys to know. The first one is the perfect squares. It's pretty self-explanatory. The square the left, square the right, double the middle, just reversed, right? That's what factoring is. You are adding the parentheses. And then you also have the difference of squares. That is your the first term is a squared, or in this case k squared, and then the second term would be something squared as well. So it's perfect squares for those two terms. And then the sign there in the middle will be negative. That's why it's called the difference of squares. Alright, and then we also have factoring polynomial when a equals to 1. To refresh your memories, we're going to talk about it together. Alright, so it says a squared minus a minus 6. So when you see a polynomial like this, or specifically a trinomial like this, tri means 3, so there are 3 terms. It's not that obvious how to factor that, right? Not like these two here. So what I would do if I were you, just do the box method. This is what I would call it, the box method. So what you're doing is you're filling out the top left box as the first term, in this case a squared, and then the box on the bottom right, I'm going to fill that out with the last term, in this case negative 6. So you guys know how this works. We're going to fill the row on the very top and the column on the very left with the multiplication of these, or the factors of these. So a times a is a squared, and we are trying to find these two factors here. So to do that, we need to know what the middle, what these two boxes are. Okay. In other words, we need to know two numbers if we multiply each other. So this times this will be equal to this. So I'm going to write it out like that. And we need to also know that the same two numbers, if we add them up, so if we add these up, it will equal to negative 1. Okay. Alright. So think about those two numbers. The easiest way to find these factors is to look at the multiplication, right? The product of negative 6. There are a few possibilities. It could be negative 1 and 6, or 1 and negative 6, 2 and 3. Either one could be a negative. So a few options here. But we are also looking for the pair that if you add them up, it will equal to negative 1. So in this case, it will be 2 and negative 3. So this is what we add in the middle here. This is 2x, and this is negative 3x. And again, it doesn't matter if you switch them, but make sure that it matches the outside there. So okay, this should be a, the variable is a. Okay, so a times negative 3 will give us negative 3a, and then plus 2, or positive 2 times a is 2a. And then the final step, 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. And now we have our two factors. That would be a minus 3 times a plus 2. Okay. And you always have to check to make sure that your factoring is correct. So multiply it back, a squared, check. And then 2a minus 3a is negative a, check. Negative 3 times 2 is negative 6. So that's good. So that's your final answer. Okay. Alright, so that was factoring a trinomial when a is equal to 1. A is in this case, because the generic form of a trinomial is ax squared plus bx plus c. A is the coefficient of the first term in front of the x squared. Okay. Alright, so what if a, or the first term of the trinomial, is not equal to 1? What do we do? So as you guys may have gathered from Desmus, we do the same thing, like factoring polynomial before, with the box method. So again, I'm also going to fill out this box here with 9x squared on the top left, and then the -2 on the bottom right. So let's fill it out here. Again, we're looking for two numbers. When we multiply them, it will equal to -2. And we're also looking for the same two numbers. If we add them up, it will equal to -3. Okay. Alright. So I'm going to try to fill out what I can on the very top row and then on the very left column here. So we know that 3x times 3x is 9x squared. Okay. And then we're trying to find these two numbers here. So again, I'm going to start with -2. We only have a couple options here. 1 and -2 or -1 and 2. And to determine which pair is correct, we're going to try to add them up. So 1 minus 2 is -1. So that's not it. -1 plus 2, that's +1. So we can't really use that method. Alright, so this is kind of different, right? So I want you guys to go back to factoring polynomial when the first coefficient is equal to 1. What do you guys notice? Look at the box. You can pause the video here and see if you notice anything. Okay, here's a hint. I'm going to highlight these. I'm going to highlight these. Okay. So as you guys can see, if I multiply the pink terms, -6 times a squared, it's equal to -6a squared. And then I'm going to multiply 2a times -3a. That is also equal to -6a squared. So that same pattern carries out here as well. So it turns out the diagonal boxes will be equal to the other diagonal boxes. So 9x squared times -2 is -18x squared. So in other words, -6a squared was this, right? We're going to multiply the yellow terms to equal to the pink terms multiplied together. So what I was saying is that this should not be only -2. It's also -2 times 9, which is -18. So that's what we're missing here. That's why it was not factorable in the first place. So this is actually -18. And you'll see that this will be successful. Okay. Alright, so let's do that. -18. 1 and 18. And then -2 and 9. 3 and 6. And I'm not going to list out the rest, but you guys get the point. So it is obviously -6 and 3. Because -6 plus 3 is -3. So let's fill that out. Again, doesn't matter if it's switched. Okay, so something times 3x will equal to negative 6x, so that would be negative 2. And then 3x times something, it will equal to 3x, which is positive 1. So that is our answer, 3x plus 1 times 3x minus 2. If you expand it, 9x squared, check. Negative 6x plus 3x, that's negative 3x, check. 1 times negative 2, that's negative 2, check. So that is our answer. So yeah, these are just the basic of factoring that you guys needed to know.